What is up, guys? Welcome into yet another edition of the Ben Garcia Show. Apologies for the delay. Once again, you guys know how it is. Every single day dealing with some sort of technical difficulties. Either way, the Suns coaching Elite 8 list is out. Let's react to it. Plus, Borck Purdy gets paid. What does it mean for Kyler Murray now? Talk to you guys in a couple of seconds.
The Ben Garcia Show. Yeah. Woo. Best show in the land. Yup. Listen. Come and get your information from Ben Garcia. Get the latest on your quarterback, running backs, and receivers. Tune in, so any other show you don't need them. Any news that he giving out, please just believe him. Giving out the latest prediction and top-notch analysis. Wanna hear the truth, better have thick skin like calluses. The latest move that your team just made can be damaging. The dudes ain't speaking no facts, they just be rambling. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show, go get the cameraman. Yeah. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show, go get the cameraman. The Ben Garcia Show.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to yet another edition of the Ben Garcia Show. Thank you so much for making me a part of your day. Guys, it's actually not fair this morning. Other days before, I've been late, and then, of course, there's some technical difficulties with OBS, but it's not only just that, it is the fact that I couldn't get my camera once again up and working, and I guess that is live or die on the Ben Garcia Show, what the issues are here. Either way, follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show, as well as don't forget to like, share, subscribe, potentially even tell a friend about the Ben Garcia Show, as my wife continues to look at me from afar like I'm a crazy person because I decided to leave the door open today once I thought she left for her job because she has one of those. Either way, guys, let's start here. The Phoenix Suns list is out for their Elite 8 coaching candidacy, so let's start with that list and then kind of go over it and who we think potentially should be the best fit for the Suns team. And even more so than that, what does the list actually say about the Phoenix Suns? Is Mat Ishbia, is Brian Gregory running this thing effectively? So right ahead, yesterday we got the 8 finalists to be the next Suns head coach, according to Chris Haynes, again alongside other members of the media, kind of piecing together the list. Adding in Chris Quinn to the original list, which was Chris Quinn from the Miami Heat, Sean Sweeney from the Mavs, Dave Fizdale from the Suns, James Borrego from the Pelicans, Jordan Ott from the Cavs, Johnny Bryant from the Cavs, Steve Hetzel from the Nets, Dave Bliss from the Thunder, and Micah Nori from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Those are the 9 candidates that people say 8, but it seems as if those are the names that people are circulating around that the Suns could go with. We'll talk about who are some of my potential favorite hires in a second, but let's start here. And this is something I talked about on Locked On Phoenix Suns yesterday. And ultimately, it kind of starts off like this. The Phoenix Suns list is a very mature list. This is something that we've been begging of Mat Ishbia and Brian Gregory to take a hold of since they took these positions of general manager, and long before even that with Mat Ishbia as the owner of the Phoenix Suns. Everything has felt rushed. They have not been able to find the right candidacies, whether in terms of a player or in a coaching hire or at this point as a GM hire. It doesn't mean that I approve of the Phoenix Suns' options at general manager. But what I do approve of is giving the team credit where they deserve it. I'm not someone who is going to just continue to blow smoke. I still have huge worries that Brian Gregory is not going to be able to be someone that is going to be able to lead this team to where the Suns want to be, which is ultimately a championship team. Now, that's really far down the line, but I have some real concerns about that stuff. You guys have heard me rip this team to shreds for the way that they have taken, the way that they have gone through their hirings, the way they brought people in, Tyus Jones. I was a fan of the Bradley Beal thing until I wasn't. I'm a talking head. I'm allowed to have those opinions. I didn't actually bring him in. So what this list shows me, all these guys on this list, is that it's a well thought out list. It's not someone that no one on this list doesn't feel qualified. The issue with Brian Gregory is he wasn't qualified for the job. And what drives me crazy is when other media members say, how are you to say someone is unqualified? I always find that so disheartening and disingenuous because I don't need to be a head coach to know if someone's qualified. Otherwise, I would just apply to every job on the market. Why not? I don't know if I'm not qualified. It's pretty easy to tell I'm not qualified to be a doctor or to be a lawyer. So just in those matters, I know you're not qualified to be a general manager. So Brian Gregory, who had literally no front office experience, at least to a degree where it was like he was helping with decision making. I don't buy the Oso Ighodaro, Ryan Dunn thing. And so for that reason, he was unqualified. Sean Sweeney's been around a long time. He was in that playoff series where they swarmed the Suns in 2022 and effectively making it one of the most embarrassing Game 7s. Took Devin Booker out of that series at times. Made Chris Paul a shooter because they knew Chris Paul wouldn't shoot. Dave Fizdale is the one name to me that I'm like, don't really want to see him get the job because I've seen the Dave Fizdale act before, once with New York when he was the intern head coach, and then as the Grizzlies head coach. It just a little outdated, but I do like him as a coach just on the bench, being able to help settle down and break down things going on for the other team. James Borrego, the Pelicans, he was a finalist for the Lakers job last year, so he's a real candidate. Jordan Knott, again, him and Johnny Bryant, both Cleveland Cavaliers guys who came from a organization who was the number 1 seed last year, and you could absolutely use that guy. Steve Hetzel from the Brooklyn Nets, Dave Bliss from the Thunder, Mike Nori from the Timberwolves. I don't know a ton about Hetzel, but what I will say about Dave Bliss, being under Mark Daigneault, whose name I always mess up, the Oklahoma City Thunder, number 1 seed in the Western Conference Finals. Mike Nori in the Western Conference Finals, and was the almost interim head coach for Chris Finch when he went down last year with that broken leg issue. So it's a very mature list from the Suns. In terms of my favorite candidates, I think what's really clear is the Suns have a list of guys. Like, let me just say right here, if the Suns got this guy, I wouldn't be upset about it. I would likely either feel indifferent or good about it. Mike Nori, Dave Bliss, Johnny Bryant, Jordan Knott, probably Sean Sweeney too. Fizdale, I already mentioned why I don't really want to see him get the job. James Borrego, his background doesn't wow me as much as the other guys. Steve Hetzel is the same exact way. So, in terms of my favorite guys, if I'm just picking one guy who I want to be the Phoenix Suns head coach, I've struggled with this a bit, but there's 2 guys. I really like Mike Nori, and I really like Johnny Bryant. Hence why they're the 2 guys up in the lower thirds this morning. Mike Nori learning from Chris Finch and getting literal playoff reps last year when Chris Finch broke or tore his patella tendon or whatever it was, when Chris Finch had the leg injury last year, where Mike Nori was the interim head coach while having Chris Finch over his shoulder, kind of helping guide him. There's something to that really just immerses me in what I would like about him being the head coach. He has built, or at least he's been a part of, a very physical roster with the Minnesota Timberwolves, push you around, exactly what the Phoenix Suns have been kind of demonstrating that they want to be like. So Mike Nori is very interesting. He clearly knows about player development. His team might just win the championship this year. And I have so much respect for Chris Finch and how he has gone from kind of a no-name head coach 3 years ago to a top 5 head coach in the NBA at this point. Like, all those things are why I really like Mike Nori. However, and this is still where I'm going to go, my number 1 favorite candidate is Johnny Bryant. And the reasoning for that is he's an offensive guy. And 2 years ago, when Frank Vogel was getting hired, I was advocating for Kenny Atkinson to be the head coach of the Phoenix Suns. I never really understand people who weren't big fans of Kenny Atkinson. He was with the Warriors at one time. He was with the Brooklyn Nets at one time. He has a connection with Kevin Durant, at least in some way, if you tend to go back down that route. I really like Kenny Atkinson, and then him going to the Cavaliers and immediately making them the best team in the East. Now, what happened to the playoffs is what happened to the playoffs. Guys got injured. You can't help that. Some of the playoffs is just luck, and I continue to tell people that. The Cleveland Cavaliers losing Darius Garland and DeAndre Hunter in the same series was crippling for them. I think that they win that series if they're fully healthy. However, the playoffs are always ifs and buts. So I'm not putting that on them. And lead that to the fact if Johnny Bryant was the lead assistant of that team, I think he would connect really well with players. I think there's something to just looking like leadership. And when I see Johnny Bryant, there's just a gravitational pull to him. I like his schematics offensively with the Cleveland Cavaliers on a team who, let's just call it what it is, doesn't have a ton of bucket getters. I mean, Darius Garland, I guess, could kind of be that guy. Donovan Mitchell as well is definitely that guy. DeAndre Hunter can shoot the ball, but it's not exactly like Jared Allen's on that team. Evan Mobley's on that team. Like, those aren't just like consistent bucket getters, at least in my opinion. They're good offensive players, but not elite bucket getters. I like Johnny Bryant's ability, who is a younger guy. I believe he's 41 years old, if I'm not mistaken, but you guys are going to make me look that up so I don't sound like a crazy person. Johnny Bryant, 39 years old. So he's a younger guy who coached under Kenny Atkinson, who is someone who I respect a ton, who has had a ton of success in this league with the Warriors, a little bit with the Nets, and then again with the Cleveland Cavaliers, taking them to the 1 seed. I like Johnny Bryant. I think there's a stature to him. Now listen, a lot of it with evaluating assistant coaching is a little bit of guessing. How much are they doing? How much are they not doing? This guy, lead assistant for Kenny Atkinson, lead assistant for the best team in the East in the regular season. For all those reasons, I think it would be a slam dunk hire to bring him in. Now, Mike Inori, I'd be thrilled about it. Dave Bliss, I think I'd be pretty thrilled about it. But in terms of just those three guys, I'd be into it. But far and away from me, Johnny Bryant is the guy who I would hire for this team. Let's move on to the Arizona Cardinals as the Phoenix Suns wind down their list once again. It's so funny. Someone tweeted out, I think it was my guy Espo, where it was like, Suns advancing to the second round of the playoffs, Suns advancing to the second round of coaching carousel. So that was funny as well. The Arizona Cardinals, let's talk about them. They are moving. Let's start here with the San Francisco 49ers. Let's break down this egregious Borck Purdy extension. If you are an Arizona Cardinals fan, you are jumping with joy today. Well, you're jumping with joy on Friday. There's a few reasons why this Borck Purdy contract is nonsense. But let's start with reason number one, which is why I believe the San Francisco 49ers aren't as thrilled with this signing as well. They drop this Friday afternoon. Every sports show is over. No one can critique it. We call this a Friday news dump for the San Francisco 49ers. They know they lost this negotiation. This is, like, sometimes when it comes to evaluating sports stories or takes or opinions, there's a lot more that goes into it. There's not that much that goes into this Borck Purdy thing. It is so clearly a disaster, and it's going to end in disaster. And if you're an Arizona Cardinals fan, man, congratulations to you this morning. If sometimes you go get your weekly coffee at your favorite coffee shop on Fridays, end of the week, you're celebrating, we're about to start the weekend, let's get the Friday off to a good start. Let's go get a coffee. Do that today. Because the San Francisco 49ers Super Bowl window has just slammed shut on them. The San Francisco 49ers Super Bowl window has slammed shut on them. Going and giving Borck Purdy $53 million a year, coming off of a last place season where he once again was not healthy, is lunacy. Just absolute lunacy. My first question is, if Borck Purdy goes out in the open market, does he get $53 million a year? Maybe. But I think it'd be worth it to allow him to go test the open market. This is lunacy. And to use the excuse of, well, Tua, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, look at those contracts. Yeah, those are all bad contracts too. Maybe not Jordan Love, because I like Jordan Love, but well, look at Dak Prescott. Look at Tua Tagovailoa. Look at Trevor Lawrence. Those contracts are awful. And using that as an excuse to pay your quarterback stupid money. Who are the teams that paid those quarterbacks? You're going to take advice from the Dolphins, the Cowboys, and the Jaguars? All teams who haven't won a playoff game in God knows when. The Jaguars won one a couple years ago and then immediately lost in the next round because the only team that they beat was the Los Angeles Chargers, who can't get out of their own way. Outside of that, when was their last playoff appearance? 2017? That's your opinion? Your excuse for paying Borck Purdy as much as you paid him, well, other stupid organizations did it. Okay, man, go be them. If you think on the open market Borck Purdy gets this much, that's just a you issue. And for the 49ers fans trying to act like they're thrilled with this, let them. You can't fool me. Continue to tell me how awesome Borck Purdy is. My eyes work. I've watched the games. In big moments, he's not great. Playoffs a couple years ago. Ironically, his best game was the Super Bowl, where he still was just fine. He wasn't awesome. He overthrew a couple of big passes late in that game. But in the Green Bay Packers game, wasn't great. Lions game got down big and the Lions shot themselves in the foot. It happens. Keep telling me how great Borck Purdy is. And the conversation now turns to, for the longest time, it was, well, contract included, I'd much rather have Borck Purdy over Kyler Murray. And I'm someone who is seen as a Kyler Murray skeptic. Kyler Murray at $46 million a year, or Borck Purdy at $53 million a year, you are absolutely crazy if you think you should be taking Borck Purdy. Tell me how much of a great player he is. Oh, Super Bowl appearance. But then when I say Jimmy G did that too, it's immediately, well, you didn't watch the games. You don't understand. Jimmy G sucks. Borck Purdy's awesome. I'm like, okay. You paid Jimmy G. How did that go? Oh, that's right. He ended up getting benched for this guy. 49ers fans didn't realize by defending Borck Purdy, 49ers fans and media didn't realize that when they were defending Borck Purdy, they were putting the knife in their own back. Because all it did was give Borck Purdy all the leverage. You turned a blind eye to Jimmy G getting to the Super Bowl II and losing, just like Borck Purdy did. You turned a blind eye to Jimmy G having a similar season without Christian McCaffrey a couple of years ago and told everyone Borck Purdy was the MVP. You defended this guy so much, crowned him as the next Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow so much. Congratulations, you played yourself. And as an Arizona Cardinals viewer and opinionist, and I cover this team, I couldn't be more thrilled. Borck Purdy getting the contract he did just signs the note, your own death note, of being irrelevant for the next couple of seasons. You didn't give him a contract after he went to the Super Bowl. You gave him a contract after another injury-plagued season, and they were last in the division. So, listen, man, Knock yourself out. But at this point, Kyler Murray has become Kyler Murray has went from one of the more expensive contracts in the NFL to where Borck Purdy should be and is the 12th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. There is no more argument that Kyler Murray is overpaid. At that point, you're just making up dumb excuses to dislike Kyler. Now, the conversations of can you win a Super Bowl with Kyler? Can you even make the Super Bowl with Kyler? Can you win a playoff game with Kyler? All fair criticisms. But overpaid? Not one of them. And I think it's pretty clear if you stuck Kyler Murray on the San Francisco 49ers 2 years ago, they likely win the Super Bowl. Because one guy is dynamic, is elusive, he's way more accurate than Borck Purdy. It's not close. Better deep ball. It's not close. At this point, without the same weaponry or the coaching stability, I could go on and on and on about this. You can tell me how much you believe in Borck Purdy. Cool, man. No one has to tell me how great Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, or Patrick Mahomes is. I just know. Because I watched the games. You told me that Jimmy G wasn't actually good. You made it to the Super Bowl on your own accord. Except he had a similar season without Christian McCaffrey. And they both lost the Super Bowl. So go ahead, shoo that away. By continuously propping up Borck Purdy, San Francisco media, and fans, you have signed your own death note. Because of you didn't get a discount on him. You got a $53 million price tag a year. You went from a quarterback that was making $750,000 to $53 million a year. That is incredibly punitive to the salary cap. And so at this point, if I'd rather have contract included Borck Purdy or Kyler Murray, it is no longer close. I'd rather have the guy that's more elusive, better accuracy, better deep ball, and isn't so dependent on the offensive line being great because he can get out of trouble. Isn't so dependent on Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, or Deebo Samuel taking a screen pass to the house. It's crazy. It's lunacy. And if you're the Arizona Cardinals, today is a great day. A great day. It couldn't be any better. Because you have one less team to worry about from now on. Now it's just a two-headed race post this season. This year, sure, the Niners might win 9 or 10 games. It's an incredibly cakewalk of a schedule. But they'll be listed as fraudulent all year long. Look at their schedule. They don't play like the top 6 quarterbacks in the NFL this year. At least the Cardinals, have Joe Burrow on their schedule. I don't even think the San Francisco 49ers have that. So, if you're the San Francisco 49ers, congratulations, man. There's a reason you put this out on a Friday afternoon when every sports show is over. You wanted to run from the criticism. The criticism is here. And I couldn't wait for it to be here. And let me just read you another stat. Borck Purdy is 14-2 when Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, and Trent Williams all play. He is now 6-6 when one or more of them is missing in a game. Sounds like a guy that's pretty dependent on weapons to me. Kyle Shanahan's awesome. He's not going anywhere. George Kittle's older. Christian McCaffrey has Achilles tendonitis issues. We're not sure if those are going to be solved next year. Their offensive line is absolutely abysmal. I couldn't stop grinning from ear to ear. It's a ridiculous contract. And it, not only that, he has a no trade clause as well. But sure, use our contract's not bad because it's still less than Dak Prescott, Trevor Lawrence, and Tua Tagovailoa, which not by much, but whatever. Point to those contracts from dumb organizations who haven't done anything in years to justify your dumb contract. It doesn't make it any better. The San Francisco 49ers, you've heard of the term quarterback purgatory. Well, the San Francisco 49ers are in quarterback purgatory. And it's great. If you're a part of the Arizona Cardinals media, if you're a fan, if you're just a viewer afar or a fan of the team, this is great news. Because in 1 year, the Rams are going to be looking for their new quarterback. The San Francisco 49ers will be stuck in quarterback purgatory. And the Seattle Seahawks, no one really believes in Sam Darnold with a defensive head coach and not the same amount of weapons. Great, man. Couldn't be more thrilled. And Kyler Murray at $46 million a year, the 12th highest paid quarterback in terms of annual average salary. $46 million a year compared to $53 million a year. Lunacy. Absolute lunacy. And it's awesome. So if you're an Arizona Cardinals fan, rejoice. And if you're a Niners fan, keep telling us how great he is. Pay him again, please. I wouldn't be acting like this if the Rams paid Matthew Stafford again. That's why I didn't make a video after they did. Because I know how great Matthew Stafford is. It's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. For the 17 people in the chat, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, potentially even tell a friend about the Ben Garcia Show. I'm live every morning, 7 a.m., 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes there's technical difficulties. Oftentimes I'm a little late. Have some grace with me. This is a one-man band. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. And until next time, which is tomorrow, 7 a.m., 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm Benjamin Garcia at Ben Garcia Show on social media. Follow me on all social media platforms. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. I will see you when? Tomorrow.